Hey guys, Grusky here, doing a replay of clan battles, kind of just to show what a little bit of what to do when there's a stalemate. How do you kind of change that in your favor? The answer is it just comes down to who makes the first mistake. Fortunately, fortunately for us, we're playing OPG, which is a really good team. So I guess that's a bit unfortunate for us. But the one fortunate thing that happens is they make a slight mistake at the beginning of the game that we capitalize on. And it changes the game drastically. And I believe kind of changed the win with one play, and how simple things like that could really make a big difference. But had we made equal mistakes, it would have been equally punished. I'm going to fast forward a little bit just so we can kind of save some time and not have to watch me do nothing. You can kind of see here too, one thing I touched on, I'm using Hydro right here, and that's generally probably arguably a bad idea. You're probably right in this case because it's a Yu Yang that we don't need Hydro. It's kind of a thing we put into habit. We have gotten chunked a little bit before there, and I rarely ever use all my Hydros, so it's kind of like a safety net. And in this case, our Yu Yang kept on par with me. He would have spotted any torpedo, so yeah, it was probably wasted Hydro. It's just a habit we kind of gotten into that we could probably change in certain cases, depending on the match. But right here, this is what changes, what I feel changed the outcome of the game. The Zhao here got spotted early, and our Yamato was ready to capitalize, had his turrets turned, everything. He wasn't even spotted for very long. And you can't hear voice comms, but I believe Klein, our Yamato player, got a double or triple Citadel off of that, which instantly changes how they're going to think about pushing. Now they can't take a 2v2 fight and come out on top with some skill and RNG luck. Now if it comes down to a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2 fight, we're going to have the advantage health-wise unless they can do something to change that. And again, sorry, this game's kind of boring as far as my perspective, because I didn't really do much but deny them, and that's okay in clan battles. It's not random battles where you want to be doing damage, you want to be capping. My role here is to stop this push at the 9-10 line. This is a pretty standard strategy since Season 2 and a little bit of Season 1 from what I remember. What the idea is to hold this 9-10 line. Teams will push around and get these destroyers out of the caps. And it's a really good strategy. It's worked really well for a few seasons for obvious reasons. Those destroyers are relatively safe until somebody can get an angle on them. So my job here is to, 1, spot any ships coming through, and then 2, just hold them back or let them know that I'm here, so that way if they go through, they're going to have to deal with the ship. It's going to slow their push down, maybe make them reposition to send ships this way to win this flank. And you can see I have this Hindenburg with me, Lobster. He's there to help me or to help any ships that might be around C. So he's in a good position to be flexible for our team. But because this team has a big Zhao heavy composition, I won't have any spotting advantages. I guess sort of luckily for me, they get a couple extra early shots on our destroyer. It lets me spot them. As you can see, we're very close to each other, and we almost had no idea. So, and yep, there's that Zhao that got chunked earlier. He's half health, and I can only presume he healed some of it back. So that early salvo from our Yamato really changed the game for us. And right now, these guys could take a 2-on-2 fight against me and the Hindenburg. They could focus me down and then take down the Hindenburg, or just take me down just to get the points advantage and then back off. So that really does change things. They could put a lot more pressure, but you can see he's staying back because he lost health. Now, here too, I've lost a good chunk of health just from being spotted a little bit. So has that Zhao, the Lion 666. He lost a good chunk of health because me and my Hindenburg are focusing him down together. You can see our Hindenburg barely lost any health. So focus fire is very, very important, everybody. Do it. I've seen a lot of a few replays of teams not focusing fire. It's a big mistake. You definitely want to do it. And I kind of take a risk here to shoot this Yu Yang with my spotter plane. And I could be opening myself up. I thought it was a worthy risk, because both Zhaos were running away. They'd have to reveal themselves, and our Hindenburg could potentially then start shooting at them, and I can change my focus. But it's also a risky move, because that Yamato has nothing else to shoot at but me now. And provided I believe he can hit shells over that island, so it's kind of a risky move, but we wanted to put some pressure on them. Maybe I probably could have held my shots there. And this is another important tactic that a lot of teams that are a little bit lower don't understand. And stern tanking. You back in, you can see now I'm reversing and going at them. What I want to do is back at them so I can either spot them or shoot them. And the idea why I don't go bow in is if I go bow in, then I'm stuck. My only option is to reverse away, which is really slow. I'm going to be doing, I think, like 15 knots or something like that, so I'm not going to outrun anybody. They can just simply go forward at 1/4 speed or something and more than match my speed. So while you reverse in is you can easily have an out, and that's I think one of the things that separates some good teams from not good teams is always having an exit plan, no matter what. Anytime you get locked into something, and sometimes you do have to make those moves where you're forced to, or you want to make an aggressive play that is sometimes risky. This way, if I go kind of stern in, I can run away if I get spotted and get a lot of attention on me, and then go dark. I'm more valuable to the team alive with no health than I am dead with us losing the points, because even if I take so much damage that I'm out of the game, our team at least did not lose those points. And as you can see, we got the early cap. We have the slight advantage. They need to make some moves on us. We could sit here the whole game and do absolutely nothing and still win, as long as we don't lose a ship and we don't let them get a cap. So these guys need to make the move. And it's kind of a stalemate in that terms, where nothing's really going on. I'm literally just denying their push here, and you can see their Des Moines and their 2 Zhaos were ready to push on this line. But because that one Zhao lost a lot of health, and we have a Hindenburg and a Zhao here, we're just denying them. We're doing nothing else than just denying. It's not even coming down to a gunfight, and little things like this is what wins games. Just stopping them from getting a good position is sometimes more valuable than a kill. As you can see, if you look at the mini-map, and maybe I can just do the... No, it won't let me bring up the main map. But you can see in the mini-map our Yamatos, the 2 Yamatos are getting into a gun duel in the middle of the map. And our Hindenburg is shifting over to help with that. So 1-on-1 Yamato fight, it's going to come down to basically RNG and player skill. And I can only assume the OPG battleship is very skilled. They're pretty much all of them are skilled players as far as I know. So it's not really a fight we want to bring down to RNG, or the chance that Klein doesn't have match the same skill, which he very well could not. We don't know exactly the skill levels. So why would you put something like the chance, even if you knew your battleship is better? RNG is still a huge factor. Just dispersion of shells to get a few extra pens, citadels, what have you. And you can also see that Yamato has, probably I can only assume, is the Zhao helping it as well. So Lobster moving over to shoot that Yamato is the right call. However, that kind of leaves me a little undermanned right here. But luckily, Lobster could shift his focus. He's in a position where he can then come help me.
Torpedoes astern.
But luckily, this Zhao, we would spot each other at the same time. I can only assume he's doing the same thing I'm doing, launching occasional torpedoes, kind of just slowly backing up into each other. Somebody has to make a play here, and if they want to move in to go shoot at our destroyer, he's got to give me a decent angle, and he's going to take damage doing that. So, again, I'm just denying them right here, while there's this big fight with the Yamato going down. This is Kozuro playing in Zhao, And this is what happens on the west flank, which is a little bit more exciting than what happened over there. This is more of how to work together and focus fire and overcome a equal fight that is also a standoff. So right here, I kind of want to point out this is a really risky move Kozuro is doing. He's backing up towards them at a pretty close rate, and we have a heavy Zhao team, so they could just come up and match him around the corner of this island right here, and just kind of spot him for a good while he loses a lot of health. I wouldn't be up that close, but then again, Zhaos do have equal spotting chance, spotting distance. So it could become a close fight. He could quickly back away, or move forward and run away, and with the help of the Hindenburg, could overcome that. It just adds a little bit of extra risk, but Kozuro is known for kind of getting overextended a little bit at the beginning. But he does really well overcoming it, though. And sometimes it could really work in your favor. This is much a psychological game as it is a strategic / shooting skill game. So you can see Kozuro's pinging the map. That's where his RPF is. He's communicating that to the Hindenburg M². And you don't even need to call that out in a game. These guys we're talking about what we're doing over at C. He's just pinging where it is, so M² knows. And you don't need to say that if you're paired with somebody in an off flank. You're going to see pings like that just to see where they are. And again, kind of not to pick on Kozuro, but right now he is moving up broadside. If there is happens to be a Des Moines or something there, which I know there is, he's going to be broadside to it right around that corner, and M² will not be able to hit that Des Moines. And there's always doing the exact same thing, backing up though. So it kind of works out in our favor. So this is where the focus fire comes in. M²'s in his Hindenburg. He has all 4 guns turned to go shoot. Except exactly what I had said. It's almost as if I knew what was going to happen. Kozuro took a big chunk from that Des Moines because he was broadside. He can't even see the Des Moines, and Des Moines is able to shoot around the corner. But this is where focus fire comes in. And a lot of teams, don't focus fire as much as they should. They're easily going to win this fight, provided the Zhao doesn't ever go, unspotted. These two will whittle the Zhao so fast. And as you can see, the health trade is now becoming more equal. The chunk of health Kozuro lost is negated now by their excellent focus fire together.
The ship is on fire.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit here, just because there's not going to be much happening for a while. So right here, as I mentioned earlier, OPG needed to get the points. We have the slight advantage. We captured B before they captured A, so they need to make a move of some kind. Like I said earlier, we could sit there the whole game, do absolutely nothing, and we would win, provided none of us die or we lost the cap, right? So these guys are trying to do what they can to move around, and these guys are probing a little bit, trying to see where we are over here to see where they can make their move. And right now it's actually a good thing that Kozuro, we talked about focus fire, but this specific scenario is where Kozuro shouldn't be firing. That Des Moines could then come pop out and start shooting at him. He'll be spotted. He can take a decent amount of damage. And there's no way that Zhao and our Hindenburg are really going to do enough damage to each other to really make it worth them having to go guns blazing at the one Zhao who's almost at max range. We'll fast forward a little bit more until some more action comes. God, those torpedoes looked like they were going so fast. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay. So, as I'd mentioned several times, OPG needs to push, right? So Kozuro is smart and knows that Des Moines is going to be hugging islands, as Des Moines do. So he gets a torp hit because the Des Moines, as I said, needs to push up. He needs to come do something. So that really changes the outcome of this flank. And Zhao will spot a Des Moines, so Kozuro knows approximately where that Des Moines was based off of where the torp hit. And boom, there's the Des Moines. Now these two have a focus fire target, and Kozuro can actually just stay here outside of his spotting range and do a good amount of damage to that Des Moines, but he can't do that for long because that's Zhao's coming up behind him, and M Squared will lose that fight to 2v1. So there he goes, he needs to fire his guns as he did. They need to focus fire this Des Moines, he's the weakest. He just used damage control, so any fires they set on him are gonna be permanent fires until his TCP comes up again or the fires burn out. So them focusing fire right here is the example. If they didn't, they both picked a target. This could have came out differently for us. We could have lost this. So this is great teamwork there. And the Des Moines is trying to get out of there. That Des Moines should be going dark. I don't know why he's still firing. I guess probably with his smoke detection. Sorry, not his smoke detection. His detection while being on fire is really actually what did him in here. You can see the Hindenburg can, M Squared can no longer now hit the Des Moines, so he switches targets. Focusing fire is great, but sometimes you just can't hit targets. And then you gotta let your teammate know that too, that you can't help them with this. And Kozuro maybe assumed, hey, it's still gonna be a 2, we're gonna be focus firing. He might have made a move to try to get a kill that ultimately wouldn't have been good. And this is another, right there as you saw, he was using RPF to judge where he might be. RPF shows where they currently are, not where they are, so he took a guess that he might turn in to turn around or make an aggressive push, so he sent his torpedoes where he thinks he will be in the future. Again, these guys are focusing fire. Kozuro let up a spotter plane, so it'll be harder for this Zhao to go dark. The Zhao is on fire, so his spotting, his concealment range is increased. And the Zhao cannot go dark, and they're gonna easily get the kill now. So when these sort of stalemate games happen, it comes down to very, very simple things. First one being who makes the first mistake, and sometimes it even comes down to somebody has a second tick faster on points could win games in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of simple analysis of what we thought was a really good game, and how we kind of just exhibited some strengths, such as just being patient, waiting for them to come to us, knowing when you have the upper hand. We had no reason to go attack A. Why would we ever do that if we have a slight advantage of points, health advantage overall? Knowing where you have the advantage and where you have your weaknesses. I couldn't have pushed the 9-10 line, and we couldn't have pushed A or B. Maybe we could have, and we could have won, but why push it up to chance, right? So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch more, let me know what you guys think, and I'd be happy to make some more changes or do some more reviews. Have a great day. Bye.